Hey everyone, Tigertenaka here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than what it usually is. This is going to be more of a tutorial video on how to use the PokeRadar to obtain shiny Pokemon. Now first things first here, you talk to Dawn after getting the National Pokedex. She'll say pretty much different random stuff every time you talk to her. I talked to her a couple of times off screen. She did say something about shiny patches, but I couldn't get it again on screen. But anyway, for this, you're going to want a bunch of Super Repels and register your PokeRadar for easy use. But a quick tutorial on how to use the PokeRadar. Normally, if you don't know anything about it, it'll just detect random patches of grass that have Pokemon in them. However, in order to use it effectively to obtain shiny Pokemon, you need to learn quite a few things about it. Now, to start a chain, you can just use the PokeRadar and walk into any patch of grass that shakes. In my case, it was a Starly. Now, to continue your chain, you have to either knock out the Pokemon or catch it. Knocking it out is usually the better way to go because it's easier. But once you KO the Pokemon, the chain will continue, but in order to maintain the chain of the Pokemon you want, you're going to have to keep in mind, you see this patch here? It is 1, 2, 3 down and 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. In order to continue your chain, or at least have a guarantee to continue your chain, your shaking patch of grass that you're looking for must be 4 away from you on a XY axis grid. So in other words, this spot here, it can be 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, 4 down or 4 up, and anything after that doesn't really matter. So since it's 4 to the left, it doesn't matter how many up or down it is. However, there's one thing to keep in mind, actually 2 things to keep in mind. If it is on the edge of grass, like say here, 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 or here, then it does have a high percentage to break your chain. Likewise, if it's next to an NPC, it also has a high probability to break your chain. However, if it doesn't do any of those things and it's just 4 away, the chain can continue, basically guaranteed. Now, my benefit here is that I have save states because of my emulator, and I'm going to be abusing that a lot. And I'm going through my Pokétch here because there is an app for the PokeRadar. I don't remember how to get it off the top of my head. I'll edit it into the video and tell you guys how to get it. But I'm just going to use the Counter app, because in order to see a shiny patch, you need to have a pretty high chain, usually around 40, but there have been records of chains only being 15 to 20 until they see a shiny patch, but 40 is when it becomes the most common. After you get a chain of 40, you don't have to increase it anymore, but sometimes it's easier just to increase it anyway, because once you defeat or capture the Pokemon in a chain, the chain will automatically continue. That way you don't have to waste any more steps on your repel. Because, trust me, you're going to need a lot of repels, and every single step you save will help a lot. Because I started out with 90 repels in this video. By the end of it, I think I have about 70. So yeah, that gives you a pretty good idea of just how long this takes. This is being sped up 3 times its normal speed. This original video was about 35 minutes. And you're pretty much going to have to do your chaining all in one session, because if you turn your DS off, it'll reset the chain. If you want to break, you're basically going to have to put the DS to sleep mode or something, because it's not going to let you keep your chain after you turn the game off, even if you do save. But yeah, you can see I'm kind of abusing save states here. I'm taking a lot of risks that I normally wouldn't take if I didn't have the save states, but since I do, I can take as many chances as I want to, just for demonstration purposes. And the only times I jump cut here are when I get interrupted, because I was doing this while I wasn't alone. I only do my narrations when I'm alone in my house, because I usually get interrupted every 5 minutes, so if you see random jump cuts in the video, it's because I got interrupted. So I can say with a clear conscience that this is completely legitimate. There's no cheating or hacking or anything involved in this. This is a legitimate way to obtain shiny Pokemon much easier. That way you don't have your standard 1 in 8,192 chance. This does increase the likelihood a lot. And another trick I learned, if you're into the competitive field or if you care about natures or anything like that, if you have a Pokemon with the ability Synchronize in the front of your party and run into a wild Pokemon, that wild Pokemon has a 50% chance of having the nature of the Pokemon with Synchronize. So for example, since I'm getting Starly here, I'd probably want either an Adamant or Jolly one. And there goes my laptop fan, so excuse that noise. But if I wanted an Adamant or a Jolly Starly, I would have, let's say, an Alakazam with an Adamant or Jolly nature, and I would have a 50% chance of getting a Starly with that nature. At least I believe that's what the percentages are. They may have been changed in later generations, but at least as of 4th gen, it's a 50% chance. But yeah, a lot of this video is just me KOing Starlies. This is also a good way to EV train, because if you're EV training a Pokemon, excuse me, you're going to be KOing a lot of the same Pokemon. So if you have an EXP share and something you're trying to EV train, you'll be EV training and hunting for a shiny at the exact same time. However, there are 2 things you want to note if you're doing this. You do not want any eggs in your party, and you do not want a Pokemon that will evolve by leveling up if you're doing this, because I believe both those things will reset your chain, so you don't want that to happen. Just something to keep in mind. And to be quite honest, I haven't done this in quite a few years. My last attempt was on a Ralts, actually in Platinum, in like 2011 or 12, I think. It was like right before I got Black and White. But I've also had an idea if I ever get another DS, since I had to sell mine. But anyway, I had this idea where if I continue shiny hunting with the PokeRadar, and I don't necessarily want the shiny, I can just trade it away to one of you guys. Like, I can just record myself hunting for the shiny, show myself catching it, and then I can do like a giveaway video saying that I can just trade the shiny away for one of your guys' Pokemon. However, this will require me to get another DS to do that. So, what I propose to you guys is that in the description, I've mentioned this before, there's a link to my PayPal account if you guys want to donate, or there's another link to a there's a referral link to a website called SwagBucks. I made a video entirely about SwagBucks a couple of weeks ago, so if you guys want to check that out, go to my channel and click on it. It's essentially a free way to obtain money in the long run, but if you guys sign up for it and just do like searches and stuff with that website's search engine, I can get basically a few cents every time you guys do that. I mean, that's not exactly how it works, but that's the shortest way I can explain it without going through the whole thing again. But yeah, if you guys can do either of those 2 things, I'm not making you guys do it, I'm just saying you can, to make things a shorter of a wait, but if you guys do that, I could buy another DS, put all these onto my micro SD card for my Ace card, show myself catching the shiny Pokemon, do a giveaway of that shiny Pokemon, and you guys can have a little bit of something from me. It's probably not the best thing in the world, but hey, it's something. I want to interact with you guys, so I figured a shiny Pokemon every now and again wouldn't be that bad of an idea to start out with. Just let me know what you guys think. But yeah, you can see my counter is probably off because I have to do it manually. One thing I realized like halfway through is that I can just count the amount of PP that I've used for every single attack and just add them up. Because the PokeRadar application for the Poketch, it automatically just counts how many of the chain you have going currently, which is pretty convenient, actually. It is very convenient, and I think it's from the Sunny Shore Lighthouse, or not the lighthouse, but that one place we need to rock climb up to get to. But, like I said, you'll have already seen that in the video a few minutes ago with text to know how to get that Poketch application. Because for some reason, I don't have it. I don't know why, but I guess it was easier said than done to get it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for right now. So what I'm going to do is just keep this playing, and I'm going to have a song playing while it's going. So I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Okay, and we are back. Now, this patch here, this is what a shiny patch looks like. The difference between a shiny patch and any other patch that you see with the PokeRadar is that the shiny patch does not shake, it only sparkles. So just to clarify, it does not shake, it only sparkles. So if you do see it, it should be pretty recognizable. But yes, there's my shiny patch right there. I'm going to save state just in case, but there is my shiny Starly. And that just goes to show how reliable the PokeRadar is. It is much more reliable to use the PokeRadar than to just randomly encounter one. So I just use a quick ball here because Starly is really freaking easy to capture. And we have caught our shiny Pokemon. Now, just to clarify for those of you who don't know, shiny Pokemon are only aesthetically different. They don't have any better stats, at least past Generation 2 they don't. But shiny Pokemon, in theory, they're kind of just like albino animals in real life. There's nothing really different about them, they just look different and are exceedingly rare. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the Starly's stats real quick on the PC. Just to show you guys, well, just to show you guys really. It's a careful nature, and you see for shiny Pokemon, they have this little star here just to indicate that they're shiny, because some Pokemon really don't look that different when they're shiny. I'm looking at you, Plusle. You look exactly the frickin' same. And the same goes to you, Garchomp. You're just a very slightly darker shade. Anyway though, that pretty much does it for this tutorial on how to use the PokeRadar. So, this has been Tigertenaka, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Pokemon Platinum. See you guys then.